Let's face it, firefighters come to your rescue if you're in a house and it's on fire, or if you're in an accident. But did you know they also teach important classes like CPR and first aid? They even have a great class to get your preteen ready to start babysitting, which is awesome. I highly recommend. Einar Jensen, he's here with the South Metro Safety Foundation, joining me this morning with a lot of great tips. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank you.
Tell me more about the South Metro Safety Foundation and what you do.
The South Metro Safety Foundation is the nonprofit arm of South Metro Fire Rescue Authority. It was a foundation that was created 3 decades ago to provide classes that could involve a user's fee, as well as be able to apply for grants that a government entity can't apply for.
And what kind of classes do you offer?
We offer teen driving or safety classes. We have a License to Survive program for parents and their teenage drivers. We have the super babysitting class. We have CPR classes, first aid classes, those sorts of things.
Go back to the Super Sitting Baby course. Who can take that?
The Super Sitter babysitting course is available for 11 to 14-year-olds who are traditionally in that role where they're kind of off on their own a little bit more, but also stepping into that babysitting role.
That's so important, because if you're watching someone else's baby, you want to make sure it could happen, including choking issues.
Definitely could happen. And it's not just for the kids out in the community, but also they could be watching their own little brothers and sisters.
Now let's go back to choking. I know we have a demo here. You brought in a cute little baby.
A little one.
What do we do? Can you show me what the first thing we should do if the baby's choking at home?
So for me, if a baby's choking at home, first thing we want to do is call 911 because we want the cavalry coming. We need to scoop our baby up on one arm. We need to do what I call a panini flip, where we're going to squish the baby in our arms like this, not squish him, but hold him securely in our arms. We want to make sure that we're not covering up the mouth and nose. We're going to flip the baby onto our belly. And we're going to use the heel of our hand and do 5 back slaps on the shoulder blade area.
How hard do you do it?
Pretty hard, actually, like this. 'Cause
Okay.
we want that object out. If that object doesn't pop out, the baby's heart's going to stop, and then we need to do CPR.
So you do not stick your finger down the throat?
If we see something in the mouth, you can gently try to grab that out of there, but a baby's mouth is so tender, we don't want to be sticking anything in there that we don't want to.
Okay.
Then we're going to flip the baby over, again protecting her back, her head and her neck, and 2 fingers right in the middle of the chest. We're going to do 5 chest compressions. We're going to keep doing that back and forth until the object pops out or until the baby's heart stops, in which case, again, we're going to start CPR. But we already have 911 coming, so it should only be a few minutes, especially in the suburban areas.
Show me how to do CPR on a baby.
CPR on a baby is a little bit more complex. We need the baby on a firm, flat surface. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with chest compressions, 2 fingers in the middle of the chest, on the sternum and right between the baby's nipples. We're going to push down 30 times at the rate of 100 times a minute. Then we're going to do 2 breaths over the baby's mouth and nose. And honestly, to do this, to do it formally, you should take a formal class from the American Red Cross, American Heart Association, or the South Metro Safety Foundation.
And you do offer CPR classes?
We do offer CPR classes, adult, child, and infant CPR.
So important, and they can sign up online, or they can call 303-805-0228 if you'd like to find out more. What's the difference between hands-only CPR versus full-on CPR?
Hands-only CPR is used with adult patients whose hearts have just stopped. So if we see someone whose heart has just stopped, we can start doing hands-only CPR. We just do compressions at the rate of 100 times a minute while someone else is calling 911 and someone else hopefully is getting that AED. Full-on CPR is for the child, the infant, or the adult patient after the first 10 minutes or so where the hands-only isn't working.
You mentioned 100 times a minute. How fast? Show me that, how fast that would be on the baby.
So it's like this.
Okay. Wow, all right.
It's the beat of the Bee Gees song.
Yeah.
Staying alive. Exactly, that's the beat. Exactly.
You mentioned AED. What is that?
Automated external defibrillator. That's a machine that is in public locations. You attach it to a patient whose heart is stopped. And if that heart is in one of these, what we consider a fatal rhythm, where it's beating too fast to pump blood or it's just freaking out like a big bowl of jelly, that AED notices one of those 2 rhythms, shocks the heart, and then hopefully brings that heart back to a point where it can restart again on its own.
You can have one of those in your home?
Not in our, most people don't have them in the home, but we're going to find them in public places, like shopping malls, stadiums, airplanes, airports, schools. The South Metro Safety Foundation has been raising money for the last several years to put AEDs in all of the public and private schools in our fire district and in neighboring areas.
Yes, that's so important.
It is.
But going back to the basic of CPR, it's very important everyone learns it. At what age should you recommend maybe a child learn it?
I think that 4th grade year, 10 years old, is a great time because then the kids are strong enough to do those compressions, and their mind is strong enough to know the difference between fantasy and reality.
Right. And you also offer first aid classes.
We do offer first aid classes. In all of those classes, AED, CPR, babysitting, teen driver, first aid, we're trying to empower people so that they can protect themselves in advance of the 911 resources arriving.
So important. Thank you, Einar, for all of your great tips. We have to have you back on more. Honestly, we do.
Thank you.
You can be prepared to save a life this new year, and the South Metro Safety Foundation has a variety of classes that anyone can benefit from. For more information and to find out how to register, please visit this website. Go to southmetrofoundation.org or call 303-805-0228.